All right. This is going to be an administrative overview of synesthesia CRNA. This is in the system or organization admin view. So this is what you are going to see as the program administrator. You're going to have access to a number of features. And one thing I do want to point out is under this arrow here, you can see the different user types, all the way from the preceptor to the clinical coordinator, a faculty instructor, the organization admin, and then the system admin. So to begin with, if you notice, it always defaults to students and you can sort by class. So you can easily look at a specific class and you will see your students. You can click on a student and you can see their COA progress, their clinical hours, their class credits, their clinical cases, go through and view their license, immunization, and certifications, anything that they have uploaded into the system. The next feature we're going to look at is evaluations. When you click on evaluations, you're going to come to a page here. You're going to see clinical evaluations, course evaluations, a miscellaneous evaluation, clinical site, and preceptor evaluations. Note, though, that it will default to a class year and a semester. So you can easily go through and look. Why this is important is for ideal clinical evaluations, you want to track progress as the student goes along in their clinical training. So you can easily update your clinical evaluations semester by semester to accurately reflect where the student should be performing. So to do that, to look at that, we're going to go to clinical evaluations. We're going to click open evaluations. And here you have any questions that you have, and you can look at submissions as well. Let's go back to the questions here. To edit it, you can easily add a question. And so let's make a question. Did the student arrive on time? We can select which order we want it in. We can make it required or not. And then we can do a single line of text, multi-line. We can do a number, a true or false, or a drop down. Let's do a true or false. Okay. And so we can easily edit this to yes. You can add a percentage in to where this will go towards their grade, or a no. And after you enter this in, always make sure to save it. You have the ability to notify admin. So if, say, there's a safety concern, it will automatically notify you if a preceptor was to fill that out on an evaluation. All right. And now let's preview this. Click on preview. And you can see here, did the student arrive on time? Yes or no? You can easily change the evaluations semester to semester. But let's look at another feature real quick. Let's say we want to look at the fall semester. When you go to clinical evaluations, we can add questions in, but we can also copy over from a template. Let's go to another class to show this. So we're going to hit create evaluations and then create new or copy. You can copy from the prior year or prior semester and easily bring those questions over. When you view your submissions, you are able to see a completion rate, and you can filter this by a start date and end date, a clinical preceptor, or a clinical site. So let's say we're going to look at a clinical site. This site, note the pending count. These are the students, what pending they have. Or let's look up a specific preceptor. So we're going to look at synesthesia preceptor. Okay. And across all clinical sites, they have a 22.2% completion rate. You can easily filter it down to see which clinical sites you're having trouble getting evaluations from. And then you can filter by preceptor as well. So maybe you can reach out to that preceptor and find out why they're struggling to fill out evaluations. Back at the evaluations template, when you click on that, you have a number of features here. You can create a course evaluation for the end of the semester, miscellaneous evaluation. So if you want to save something, if you want to specifically have an evaluation, you can save it and easily use it again. The clinical site evaluations, creating a clinical site evaluation so the student can easily evaluate the clinical site. So let's look at that feature. Okay. Note when you have added your questions and you can click Manage Sending, and you have a manual or automatic. To do things automatically, you need to use the scheduling feature, but you can have it designed to automatically send clinical site evaluations at the end of a rotation. But say you want to use the manual evaluation, you can easily click Send, and you can select which students it will go to, and you can manually send it perhaps at the end of every semester. For preceptor-specific evaluations, sometimes we need the ability to assess how a preceptor is, or maybe there's a clinical site that we've had some issues with, and we want to look at the overall experience the students are getting. They can easily evaluate and provide feedback for their preceptors. Next, we have case logs. You can easily view the case logs of your students and see if something has been fully satisfied, is below the COA recommended, or below the required. You can also, at the end of the clinical time, export all of a class's case logs to where you can easily upload them to the NBCRNA. You have the ability to create care plans, and these are for students to complete on their mobile device and be able to send them and share with them to their preceptor. You can easily make something required or not required, design your own template or questions, and this is entirely customizable. One feature I will highlight, though, is the pharmacologic features. When the student creates their pharmacologic plan, say for induction, we have induction drugs color-coded where the student can easily select the drugs and put the dosage for their patient. You are able to build a survey yourself. So if you wish to maybe create a survey, you can name it, let's say a test survey. So if you as a faculty member wish to get information maybe from a clinical site, perhaps from a class, you're able to create questions. Let's make a question. Is the class well prepared? And then let's do multi-line text to where someone can easily input some information. Once the survey is built, you can publish it. Are you sure you want to publish it? Yes. And then you can share the survey. When you click copy link, it will actually provide the URL. So you can email it out. You can print the QR code out, whatever works best for you. If a student has created a survey, you're able to view it before it's published and approve it. If you need to give feedback, you can. Next, you have the faculty mapping, where you can view and look at faculty load, and you can easily assign an instructor to a course and decide if you want to split the credits, if you want to give partial credit. So you're able to easily track your faculty load by semester. Finally, in settings, you're able to manage your graduate classes, your semesters, view your administrative users, your clinical sites, your rotations, and some general settings. For clinical evaluation, if you wish to review them first, you can have access to them before the student does. The students are able to time track. It can be required, which we recommend along with the geolocation to where the student will manually clock in and out, and it will geotag them at their specific location. It does not track them the entire time. And then finally, if a clinical preceptor wishes to not create an account, students are able to share with them a QR code to where all they have to enter is an email, and they can still fill out the evaluation. So that is just a high-level overview of some of the various administrative settings that come with synesthesia CRNA. Thank you.